The jury retired a short time ago to begin considering their verdict in this murder trial at the High Court in Dundee. Renowned human rights activist Rita Banerjee was found dead at her home in the West End of Dundee back on the 25th of January 2021. She suffered a number of head injuries. The court heard evidence that Ms Banerjee had disturbed an intruder during a robbery, as police had found a number of electrical items missing. The jury was told the accused, Andrew Davidson, was initially linked to the killing because his DNA was held on a police database and matched DNA found at the scene.
The Evidence Chamber is an interactive digital theatre experience in which 12 members of the public take on the role of jurors, considering a difficult case. There's been a murder, the police have a suspect, but the evidence doesn't paint a clear picture. In a jury deliberation room, players watch the testimonies, scrutinise the evidence, discuss with their fellow jurors, and ultimately reach a verdict. The decision they make will change someone's life.
Players look at documents, so phone records, a map of the crime scene, and they watch video testimonies from characters involved. They also hear from expert witnesses. The case hinges on two types of forensic evidence, gait analysis and DNA. So players hear from experts in these fields, just as would happen in a real trial.
They discuss what they've seen with their fellow jurors, moving towards a decision on whether or not they think the accused is guilty. Their decision-making process is supported by explanatory materials about forensic evidence. The experience is structured to measure the impact of these materials. The bespoke control system logs anonymised data on each juror's decision-making process. Then, a post-verdict debrief allows audiences to deepen their understanding of forensic processes and criminal justice procedures.
The Evidence Chamber is the second courtroom format experience that we've made. The first was the Justice Syndicate. Although in both players are jurors trying to reach a verdict, the nature of the experience is very different. The Justice Syndicate is designed as an experiment in group decision-making, where the subject matter is intentionally polarising. But the Evidence Chamber is much more about a group working together to piece together a possible series of events. The atmosphere is one of cooperation, and it's often really inspiring to see a group of strangers collaborate in such a generous way.
Players have told us that the experience of taking part has made them think about how DNA evidence can be less black and white than it's often portrayed in films or books, and about how juries make decisions and what it feels like to sit in judgment on another human being.
We were commissioned to make the Evidence Chamber by the Leverhulme Research Centre for Forensic Science at the University of Dundee. They had seen the Justice Syndicate and recognised the potential of the format. They also had some very specific research questions that they wanted to explore.
One of the things that we found really engaging and compelling about working with Fast Familiar was the opportunity to take what was our material, so our science communication tools, and put them in front of members of the public in a really different way, in a way that was going to be immersive and in a way that was going to give them a simulation, in part at least, of what it really was like to be a jury member. We provided video clips of some of our staff who are acting as scientific witnesses, and we also provided a set of comics that we had prepared that explained the science behind some of the forensic evidence that was presented in a simple way. So what we asked our participants to do was to use those tools and to see if that helped them understand the science more clearly, so that they could then make their decision about the guilt or innocence of an accused person with more confidence.
The Evidence Chamber was originally made as a face-to-face experience, which premiered at Dundee Crown Court in October 2019. Players were in the actual jury deliberation room at the court and used iPads to watch videos, look at documents and vote. Then in 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic began. We took the decision to move the Syndicate platform, which is what we call the control system that runs all of these shows, online.
For us, it was crucial that the online platform closely replicated the physical experience. So we took the cautious approach of modifying our Syndicate platform to include new elements like live video call and a more advanced moderation system. This is to allow participants to have seamless, passionate discussions just as they would in the real-life counterpart. Our eco-centric values guided us throughout the redesign, so we built a bespoke video call platform to give us more granular control and also allowed us to run the entire experience on our carbon-neutral servers.
The Evidence Chamber had its online premiere in August 2020. Following a sold-out 3-week run, we've also presented it at various online festivals. We've had players from over 30 different countries, and we've really loved having people from different places play together and use the experience as a way of reflecting on their own context.
We've also used the Evidence Chamber for other things, and in particular we've used it as a training tool. We've used it as a way of scaffolding our training that we've provided through some workshops that we've run, but also training for members of the judiciary.
We've written a research paper about the process of converting the piece from an iPad-based experience for people in a room together into a browser-based experience for people joining from their homes. We're also working on an article about what makes the Evidence Chamber unique as a piece of science public engagement.
We anticipate that the Evidence Chamber will have future life as an arts experience, a research process and a training tool.